Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk with Toy Ifesaya. And today I have with me Opeyemi Mary and Ebunoluwa Adetiba. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Opeyemi is a data privacy protection specialist and she practices in Canada. And Ebunoluwa, she is a legal practitioner. You're welcome once again. So my first question will go to Opeyemi Mary. Um, I understand you've been in Canada for some years now. Can you just share your success story? Can you tell us about um, what you're doing at the moment, and then of course, where you started from?
Okay. Thank you, Tony, for having me here.
Well,
So I would say that my transition story, right? Um, I started like any other immigrant in Canada. I am a lawyer practicing in Nigeria and now coming to a new territory, right? It takes resilience, let me put it that way. So I first started as a paralegal. I wrote paralegal certification back in Canada. And then I decided to, continue my profession. So I wrote my Canadian bar, which I passed. So I was into the legal practice. I
wait,
had
you
my
have to help us take it a step at a time. You said
Is it-
Canadian bar.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So when you are calling those terms and terminologies, some of us out there may not really understand. Just break it down a bit and then please go ahead.
Okay, so I took my Canadian bar to enable me to practice as a lawyer in Canada.
Okay.
So it's just that the same licensing, exam that you take as a lawyer in law school here.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, so I was able to practice as a lawyer in Canada. So I was fascinated about the amount of information that organizations collect from individuals, right? And I was like, I was just thinking about how do they even handle this information, right? How do they protect individual rights when it comes to data privacy, personal information? So that made me more inquisitive. So I started in the field of data privacy. I took some certifications, CIPPC, that is a Certified Information Privacy practice, Professional in Canada, and my CIPM, which is the Certified Information Privacy Manager.
Well,
I proceeded to be a risk practitioner too. So I just continued. So currently, I have my law firm, which I deal with immigration and real estate majorly with other legal sets of services. I'm also a founder of Privacy Burn. We do trainings on data privacy and provide consulting services.
wow.
And I'm currently also working with one of the renowned colleges in Ontario, Canada. So as a data privacy specialist, it's been an exciting journey, but it takes time where until I got where I got to.
Thank you so much. I'll have to come back to you. But I know you've mentioned a few certifications, but some people out there who are wondering how they can, become a data privacy protection practitioner. So you can look at you talked about the risk management, you talked about the certified information, right? Privacy professional, that's the CIPP.
CIPPC and CIPP, and I'm also a fellow of
Okay.
privacy.
Okay, so you also talked about the CIPM.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So let's come to Ebunoluwa. Please, I know you're a legal practitioner here in Nigeria. Shed more light to it. How did you become, a legal practitioner? Is there something aside from the law school? And then what's your passion? Right?
Okay, I'm honored to be here.
You're
Thank you very
welcome, ma'am.
much. Like you've mentioned earlier, I'm a legal practitioner in Lagos here, and I think what is obtainable in Nigeria on becoming a lawyer is you graduate as a lawyer. It's a 5-year course, and after then you proceed to the law school for a 1-year course, and then after I did that, then I worked with a number of law firms across Lagos here, and my major areas now, I do more of criminal litigation,
Wow.
intellectual property, divorce, and real estate. And That criminal litigation aspect, while I was working with some of the law firms that I've worked with, I found out that not everyone who is in custody, who is incarcerated in custody, not all of them are actually guilty of the offenses for which they've been charged with in court. And talking to them, I realized that even though they are innocent, they do not even have the means to engage a lawyer. They don't have the money to even hire a lawyer to defend them in court. And being in there without a lawyer defending you, it's like you have that death sentence already. Because if a lawyer doesn't go to court to speak on your behalf, you could be there for 30 years,
Wow.
even though you didn't commit that offense.
I feel like crying now.
So
Seriously.
what I now did was that I decided to make an arm of that criminal litigation to be for those who do not have the means to hire a lawyer. We call it pro bono services in law. So I wrote a letter to the Ministry of Interior telling them that this is what I intend to do. And graciously, they granted my application. So from time to time, I go to the prison and then asked for those who do not have a lawyer. So they will bring them, I'll interview them, go to court to represent them. And since I've started, I think I started in 2019, and I've been able to get a total number of 41 persons
Wow. Thank you.
out of prison, and
41.
it's
Thank you.
without taking a dime
Dime.
from them.
Thank you so much. I just need to say that thank you. I know of a particular, well, maybe it was in the movies, but I think I've watched something like that where some people are used to replace the wealthy, those criminals who apparently had committed that offense, and they just replace them and then leave them in the prison. That's really pathetic. Thank you so much. So, Fayemi Mary, I would like to find out how you've been able to integrate tech into data privacy. I'll come back to that. I know that I have a friend, she practices law, but she has this application, Law in a Box, right? And the reason why I'm asking is because I know that in this day, in this age and time, you must be smart. You must be able to use the technology platforms, because tech is an enabler. So, and you can actually integrate it in different aspects. The reason why I am being particular about this as this tech integration is so people can would know out there that there are other tech skills they can get, they can acquire aside, the normal technology platforms that are out there. So please shed more light to it. I know that in your bio you have tech law. It sounds so exciting, interesting. I want to know more. So let's hear from you, Okoyemi Miri.
Okay, so I will first start by saying that when you talk about technology, right, like information, technology, it's a very broad field, right? So you have to be able to carve a niche for yourself. Like, do you want to be a cyber security specialist? Do you want to deal with firewalls? Do you want to? It's so many things you can do when it comes to IT. So for me, I just felt because, like I mentioned earlier, I was fascinated about how, and at the same time, also concerned about the number, the volume of data that we give organizations. It's a whole lot, right? So I decided to carve a niche in data privacy because it also deals with. So we have so many regulations that deal with data privacy. We have the GDPR, we have the PIPEVA. So, and as a lawyer, it comes naturally because that's exactly what I do, right? We interpret the legislations. So this comes easy for me because I was able to cover niche in data privacy. Merging that with my interest in, okay, what's really going about my data, like how these people, companies or organization handling my data, right? So that is how I come into the field. I'm talking about tech law. Like as a lawyer, tech law is just easy. It's just like you leveraging, technology, to provide legal services, right? That's basically what it is. So, yeah.
Thank you for simplifying that So leveraging on tech tools to be able to effectively optimize your services. So that explains the tech law. So in case some people are wondering tech. So I recently was doing like an application for a friend. She asked for my assistance. And then while I was trying to check through the available courses, I was surprised to see things like health tech, right? Biology tech, nurse tech, right? I was seeing things like, of course, you have talked about the law tech, and quite a number of skills that are springing up. I even saw artificial intelligence hospital management tools. So that is why it is imperative, it's important for a lot of youths right there, whatever field you find yourself. Because I know a lot of people are confused. I studied biology. How will I be able to integrate technology? They say technology is the one that is, we hear a lot of questions. And so what I just tell you is find your passion. Whatever it is that you're doing, discover the technology parts or the tools that you can leverage tech to, you know, use to like actually, run those services, just like Opayemi Mary is doing for, for the data privacy environment. So let's hear from you, Ebunoluwa. How have you been able to integrate technology? What have you been doing so far in terms of tech?
I think tech is an integral part of law, and not even law. I think it cuts across all sectors. Just like you've mentioned earlier, anyone that would actually consider themselves successful in whatever business or service delivery that they might have chosen, you can't do away with tech. So even in law practice now, a lot of our court processes, have been upgraded from the do I call it manual or analog analog system of doing things to actually doing your filings electronically, and it makes the whole thing easier because before now you have to pile a lot of documents to court. Oh, somebody must append their signature on it, before you take it to this office, take it to that office. But the whole thing has been simplified, has been automated now, such that you could even sit in the comfort of your home at night, maybe after work, and do all the filings that you have to do. And you do not have to be working from one office to the other. And I think on the part of government too, it has been able to like do I use the word regularize now the way their revenue come in, because nobody pays by cash anymore.
Yeah.
So they've been able to monitor the way payments coming in. Nobody will be able to take.
They use Remitter.
Yes, they use Remitter, and then we even have other platform in court that we use, to pay. So nobody is. It has been able to reduce the level of corruption on the part of the officials of government.
Okay, Okoyemi Mary, I would like you to share with us your success story. I know it was all rosy from the very start. Please, we know. Online we've seen a lot of people come out, some crying of depression in Canada, some crying that they wish they want to come back. And a lot of people sell their stuff before they travel out. So how was it? Let's know the rough times, and of course, let's share the success story so that some of us out there can have hope. But you see, in particularly in terms of the skills that you're able to acquire. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question. It's a very interesting one because what I've seen that I think is like a trend that once you see few people travel, then others also want to follow, right? Without any plan. You know, if you want to travel, I will always say have a plan, have a reason for traveling. Don't just go because people are doing things. Maybe that's just my personal principle. I don't follow the crowd. I do things because I'm personally convinced. And once I'm convinced, then I do what I had to do. So when I relocated, it's not like when I got there, I started picking dollars from from the airport, right? So there was a process. So another thing that I will also say is that when you want to relocate, always have the mindset that you're starting all over. Because
Mm.
even if you're a manager here or you are a CEO or whatever, when you get there, they don't know you.
Wow.
They don't know your experience. They don't know your expertise.
Wow.
So yeah, like yeah, okay. Just okay. Imagine you have an organization, right? If someone just come from, let's say, Gabon and says, okay, I'm a manager, I'm a senior manager from where I'm coming from. This is I did X Y Z. Would you give that person a senior management position? You won't. See, so because you've not actually tested, you don't know what that person has done, right? So it's very hard for you to like, okay, come and sit in the management position in my firm. It doesn't work that way.
work that way.
Yeah. So people are just saying maybe they are biased or they are discriminating. It's not discrimination. It's just the way it is. So when I got to Canada, the first couple of, because I'm still trying to, I've not started working, I'm just still trying to look for, plant my feet. I had a skill, I know how to make hair.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was making hair and I was making money from it.
Wow.
So there's something about Canada that's very important. Either you have a Canadian education or you have a Canadian experience. Those are the things that they see and they'll be able to trust you that, oh yeah, you could actually, could I use the word acclimatize into the Canadian culture? Because between me and you, it's different. The way we operate things in Nigeria is so much different. There's a culture thing. Yes, the way you even talk to your colleagues at work, the way you handle matters, customer, it's so much different. We don't really have a practice here. I'm sorry to use that word. So I went to school. I did a year course in paralegal. I'm a lawyer, just look, I'm a lawyer back home here in Nigeria. I'm at a senior position. I'm a legal officer in the university at a very senior position. Going back to start with paralegal, that's kind of a demotion, right? People will see it at that.
Yeah.
But to me, I didn't see it at that because I feel like, okay, I'm just starting up in a new place. And before I left, I already had the mindset of, oh, you're going to a new jurisdiction and you're going to start over. That is first thing, have that mindset before you leave wherever you're going.
Okay.
Don't expect they're going to hand you the keys to the palace as you're entering the new country. It doesn't work that way. So I did that. Then I did, and I wrote the exam. It's just like another bar exam, paralegal exam. And all through the process where I was doing, I lost my mom.
Wow.
I had to deal with that issue. So while struggling to get used to a new environment and everything, so I did my co-op at a law firm. So when I was there, the person that was the partner of the firm, she was 5 years at the bar. I was reporting to her, and I was thinking about it like, when I was apparently, the time I've been appearing at the Court of Appeal, this person has not even graduated from university. I was like, what am I doing here? I would just end up being frustrated, right? So I had to pick up my journey onto the licensing process, which wasn't easy. You have to first of all go through the ordeal of getting your transcript, going through the NCA, that's the National Accreditation Committee. They have to look at your results and give you the number of exams to write. And after you pass those exams, then you'll be qualified. You have a certificate of qualification to now write your bar exam. It's not like in Nigeria that you write one exam. It is in two parts. You write your solicitor exam, you write your barrister's exam, because there are two different things. A barrister is not a solicitor. A barrister is someone that goes to court and advocate for you. Why soliciting is you can be a real estate, you're doing documentation, you don't have to go to court and argue. So for you to be a lawyer, you have to be competent in both fields.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so in total, with my NCA and the both exam, I wrote 9 exams, harrowing exams. So
9 exams.
so I wrote 9 exams, and after that, you have to go through articling. There's something they call to articling. It's like a tutelage, so that you'll be able to know what how the Canadian. I have 3 kids.
3 kids.
And I have a full-time job. I have a full-time job that I did over 40 hours a week. I pulled 50, 60 hours a week while I was doing all that. So, like I was saying, when I had to go through these 9 courses, of examination, which is totally different, right? And I thank God that I did a paralegal because it opened me up to the Canadian system. So some of the exams, it's something it's not like it's easy, but I could understand some things that was going on. So my process it was really challenging because of the work that I was doing at that time. I was into US business immigration, which is a very fast-paced environment, right? So you're always working overtime, closing late at night. So I was reading all through the night. I'll close 10 p.m. at times,
Wow.
attend to my kids, and read all through the night so I can meet up for the exam. I wasn't going out. There's nothing like any occasion. Is that birthday? No social life, zero.
So that was indeed
It
a
was, yeah,
sacrifice,
it
a
was
huge
indeed,
one.
yeah, huge sacrifice. I was, if you see me then, I was looking like a zombie. I remember I met a friend. She's last year. She made a comment like, "Oh, you look different. You look better than the previous year." I was just smiling like, okay.
Yes, and the dough, the money is coming.
Yeah,
The
it's
money,
because
Canadian dollar is
it's
coming.
not matter of the dollars.
You're
It's because
reaping the
I'm
fruits.
though I'm still reading. Like I don't think I can.
It's a continuous
Yes, I'm
process.
still
process.
writing certification. I'm currently taking certification in data privacy from Cornell University in New York. So I'm still reading. So like that phase, but that phase of now I'm doing it at my convenience, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that pressure has changed. I've changed jobs after that. So that process wasn't easy for me, but because I had a plan before I left Nigeria. I was determined, because if you're not determined, you might get frustrated,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because now I'm working. I told you I was reporting to someone that was as a partner. That when that person was still in maybe not even law school, maybe university, I was already appearing at the court of appeal. That thing can make you frustrated if you don't know what you're doing. But because I had a goal, right, and I know I'm working I was consistently working towards that goal. I didn't allow anything to deter me from that goal. So it's made it easy. And of course, with God now, all things are
All things are
possible.
possible.
Yeah. So with God, the God factor in everything, that you can't take that away from.
Thank you so much for sharing this insights. So, from what I gathered is that every country is unique. When you transition, when you move to another country, they have their culture and there are certain expectations. And for you to be able to fit in, there are a lot of information gathering so that can actually get the level where you can be more comfortable. There is nothing like everything is not as everything is cast in stone. It's not as if everything is all made. There is always a process. So whether we like it or not, if you be a CEO in Nigeria, be it whatever level you have, just try to make a research to be sure of what your next step will be.
And
Right.
sorry, there's something I want to add quickly. Is something they call soft skills.
Soft skills.
We don't really major on it in Nigeria, but when you go there, and that soft skills, they take it more than your educational qualification.
So when you say soft skills, there's several
Soft skills
Can
is
you break it down for us?
Soft skills is how you talk to people, how you integrate. You don't In Nigeria we're confrontational. I don't like this. There's a way you talk to people, even in emails. The way you send emails, the tone of your emails, it matters, right? If you don't have, there are a lot of people that have interviews. They are well qualified for the job. They have the experience, but because of soft skills,
Arrogance.
they are not able to get the job, right? Even if you are higher than someone in a position, the way you approach the person in abroad, if your CEO comes in and you're sitting there, you don't have to stand up for that person. Nobody cares about you. You don't exert any authority. Nobody knows about that. You are just a man of your own. That's soft skills. You have to develop it. The way you talk to people, the way you approach your work, that is very important. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So Opayemi, you have talked about several things along your journey, right? And you've talked about how you struggled at the very beginning, which seemed to be like a norm for a lot of people that are abroad. But now you are here in this country. Why are you here? And when you tell us why you're here, you're not here, you came for something, right? So tell us what you came for, and shed more light into that, um, you know, the reasons for the why.
Yeah, I came here because I'm trying to partner and to get people enlightened about what data privacy is. We really don't have data privacy officers in Nigeria. And recently Nigeria just passed law about data privacy, where each company needs to have a DPO, data privacy officer, right? And which companies are they talking about? It's virtually every company. Any company that deals with personal information. Who doesn't? So even companies does not even know the obligations. And even the data privacy officers, we don't really have them. They don't even know what to do. Even there's some people claim to be a data privacy officer, but they don't have the experience, they don't have the skills, they don't have the certification. They don't even know what data privacy is. You know, data privacy is not like a product. It's not like this cup that you're selling that you can see that, oh, if I sell, it's not a visible, it's not a tangible thing that you can actually sell. Data privacy is a business of trust. If I come to your company, let's say I come to your company and I decide to, use you, maybe you have a school, for instance, and you collect certain information from me, right? So if I don't trust you enough, if I don't trust the organization enough, and I don't trust the way you handle there is always a data breach every now and then. Will you be able to come to my organization to do this? But if I know that this organization, when they collect my personal information, they won't, if they say they are going to use my information to do ABC, they won't go back and sell my information to another organization and do XYZ, right? So it's a business of trust. And when you come to a business of trust, that translates to your bottom line. If your customers cannot trust you, you can't make any profits. If your customer trusts you, you make profits. You're using the brand of a car, Toyota, Hyundai, Mercedes, because you trust their products, right? It's not because there are no other competitors, but you trust what they're giving you. If there is no trust, that translates to your bottom line and it affects you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, Ebunoluwa, please share your success story. Let's understand how you have become a leader in your space.
Okay, thank you very much. The first thing, like Okwe mentioned earlier, is determination,
Mm,
resilience.
mm.
Like before the interview started, when we were talking about the Gen Z in quotes,
Oh, yeah.
who doesn't want to go through the process?
Yes, it is.
I started off working with law firms around Lagos here, and some of those law firms, while I was there are times that I didn't get paid for months. But thankfully, I was living with my older sister then, so I do not have to worry about food and housing and shelter. So, you know, I kept going to work because I was determined to learn, because I knew that someday I will stand on my own. I cannot continue to be an employee. Someday I will be an employer. And if you are not grounded in your field, how do you, when you have employees around you in your working for you, so what knowledge would you be passing across, to them? So that was what was driving me then, that not that it was easy for me working and not getting paid, but I knew that if I decide to go sit at home because my boss is not paying me, what knowledge would I gain by sitting at home? And the way law practice is, you have to pass through that tutelage most of the time. If you do not pass through it, that gap will always show, because there are people that have gone ahead of you and you have to learn, from them, so that when you now stand on your own, you'll be able to stand well,
Yeah.
firm, and be able to pass across, because people will be coming to you, oh, I need a job. You have to employ people, and then there is a knowledge they too they want to gain
Yeah.
from you. So I worked with a number of law firms, and then I decided to, when I feel that, okay, I've had like maybe 60% or 70% of expertise, experience and all of that, and I stood on my own, and then since then,
Sky is not your limit.
and then for the pro bono legal services that I was talking about, people ask me a lot of times, how do you go to court to represent people without collecting being paid? What some people even see it as madness, like why?
Definitely.
What is your motivation?
Yes, so I think I should ask you what is the motivation.
Okay, while I think I even started that the pro bono stuff even before, saying that, okay, I want to have an office, because then when I was working with the last office I worked, when I left there, I just saw that I don't want to. I was getting offers from other, law firms. I was just like, no, let me just go to prison, and then just do this probe. It's been on my mind, so I just started off, and then today a lot of people reach out to me, individual companies, like, we just want to support you. I didn't ask them for that support.
Oh,
I did not,
oh,
but they just saw the good work,
oh,
and they just be
oh,
like,
oh.
oh, this kind of thing is rare.
Yeah.
this kind of thing is, and people the knowledge now is advanced. People know that the fact that you are in prison, I'm not saying that all of them are innocent. There are some that actually committed that offense, but a good number of them are also there who didn't commit the offense.
Yeah.
They were just raided by the police, dumped in prison, and their relatives they don't even know where they are.
No foul.
No foul,
Nothing.
no nothing. They are just there. So if all the lawyers in Lagos even decide to be doing what I'm doing, I believe we can't even exhaust the number in prisons, because there are a lot of them there. As we speak now, they don't even have the means to reach out to any lawyer to even say, come and represent me. There is no file, there is no data.
No trace.
Nothing. Thank you so much, Ebunoluwa. So for what you said, I picked a lot of lessons or a lot of insights. You said that we should be patient, follow through with the process. The money is going to come. Identify your passion, link it up with what you want to do. It makes it seamless for you to forge ahead. So thank you so much, Ebunoluwa. We are so grateful. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Tech Law. That is, we had a conversation on how to integrate technology as a lawyer, as a legal practitioner, right? So if you like our program and you want to learn more about how to become a successful leader in your field, please like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you.